Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What's up, everyone? Welcome aboard to the Big Focus on a Tuesday night. So once again, no, I know we were supposed to go live at 9 p.m., but we are going live a little bit earlier. So tune in, fellas. Today it's going to be interesting. Why? Because we're going to jump on the bandwagon and we're going to touch on the news of Liverpool going on sale. So FSG has decided to sell the beloved club of Liverpool. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to hit it out because we have a special guest all the way from across the globe. We've got an Aston Villa fan. So Villa fans tuning in today, you guys are going to be excited because we're going to bring in a lot of interesting things by. We're going to have a lot of insights about what a Villa fan thinks from across the globe. I think you guys are a bit bored looking at Deeps and him going on a ranting about Gerrard over the past few weeks. So I'm going to introduce him, being all lively and all lovely. So as you guys know, Dips is going to join me, but I always have a very nice introduction of Dips. But before I introduce him, all right, fellas, never ever forget this, please, guys. So kickstart this show by following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. All right, and we have got lots of content coming on TikTok. World Cup is coming up, so a lot of things are in the pipeline. All right, fellas. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my other hosts out, but before I do, I always do this, guys. It's going to be a default for all shows. So here comes the man of the moment. And there you go, guys. Our man of the moment. What's up, Dibs?
I will come back to you soon. What up, Napshot Nation? How is everyone doing on this wet, rainy Tuesday night?
You are really all hyped up now. Huh?
I am hyped up, bro. I am really from east to west.
I've never seen the 365 tips of yours throughout the year, man.
Oh, I forgot to say something though before that. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, but you know that video intro you did of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sure you want to do it of me or not? I've got shitloads, man. I've got shitloads.
Go for it, man. I mean,
it will come up when you least expected, lah. It's come least. But anyway, guys.
Look at Jot looking there. I think Jot has never seen the video, so he probably is wondering what in hell that was happening.
So he's wondering what kind of person I have in my club.
Exactly. That's the kind of guy you have in your club right now. Yep. Hey, so guys, we are. Yep. Go for it, man.
No, I was going to say, but fellas, today is not about me.
Yep.
I'm wearing this shirt, Death by Cardio, because I just finished a cardio session and I was dying earlier. So today, I'm a neutral fan. I'm going to give the Villa rep to someone else. He's got a lot to say. He's had a lot to say, but we will bring him up in a while. But Joe, before that, let's bring in someone else.
That's true. Like I said, Dips is like what Dips said. Dips is neutral today. I'm always neutral, guys. I'm going to play devil's advocate today. So we have brought in a United representative. At the same time, we have brought in a Villa representative. So it's going to get hot in here. But guys, without further ado, all right, let's get in. We are going to bring the man of the moment all the way from Kuala Lumpur. He has traveled across the world. He's just finished his meetings and he just texted me and said, Joe, I want to be on the show live today because of that guy. I want to take my revenge today. Here it is, Mr. Arturo Mio. What's up, Mio?
What's up, guys? What's up? What up, Mio? What up?
Thank you, Mio. Glad you're able to make it for us. And then the next one is the Claret and Blue, all the way from Aston Villa, maybe.
All the way from the streets of Brahmi. He's a Brahmi. No. He's from Brahmi, but he's not a Brahmi.
It seems like he's the biggest hater of Grealish. He said that he burned Grealish's jersey. He never wants to have anything to do with Jack Grealish, and it seems like he has tattooed Unai Emery's nickname. It means "Good Evening Unai Emery" in his arm as well. Let's welcome aboard George Gill. Gill, Mr. George, how are you doing, bro?
Excellent. Really, really well, especially after the thrashing of United, right? Over the weekend.
Wow, interesting.
It was, I mean, look, we've been waiting a long, long time for that, right? So
yes,
we are going to enjoy every moment and hopefully maybe even do the double, right? We'll be playing them in the League Cup in a couple of days.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. All right. We'll keep the United Aston Villa topic towards the later part. But guys, we're gonna start off with something, man. The big thing that happened across the whole world, where FSG has just decided to sell Liverpool dips. This is something that we've never unheard of. We thought it will never happen, but it's happening. Talk us through, man. What do you think about this?
I mean, let's be honest, right? It's music to all, it's music to all the Liverpool fans, right? They've been like FSG out for the longest time right now.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the line at the end of the tunnel for them. However, with that being said, I'm just gonna be devil's advocate here. I see some Liverpool fans posting on Facebook saying that they want some Arabian guy, some Arab oil money to take over the club. And I'm just wondering, these are the people who actually call Man City Oil Club. They call Newcastle Oil FC. So why would they want an Arab owner? Like it's a bit contradictory, right? Food for thought. What do you think? Joel is stuck. Ever since I said FSG, Joel is stuck. So George, I actually will go with you first. Liverpool, FSG is selling up. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Liverpool being sold and potentially to an Arab owner?
This was always on the cards, right? I mean, the Americans brought the club to make money when they sold the club, right? To build the asset up. They've seen how much Chelsea went for, right? I'm sure that raised their eyebrows.
Yep.
And they're also looking at where the club is. They might not make Champions League next year, right? Which is going to hurt their valuation. So now's the time to sell, particularly if they're not going to invest in the squad in the way that Liverpool fans expect, right? Like, Jude Bellingham, are they going to put 100 million into their, in their own pocket to buy him? Probably not. I think the other piece that's really interesting is the pound at the moment is very weak, right? And so particularly, I'm not sure if it will be Arab owners. I think it'll be another set of American owners again. Because also, I think, for the USD buyers, again, it's a really good time to be making that investment just with how weak the pound is. So I'm not sure it will be another Arab owner. I think Liverpool fans should be careful what they wish for. It may be more of the same again, right? Just at a higher valuation. The problem is who else is there, right? I mean, the Arab states have already bought their clubs, right? In terms of Man City, Newcastle, PSG. The Chinese are not investing in football in the way that they were. Unless you're going to have, somebody who's very rich outside the US and who buys it, who's a Liverpool fan. I strongly suspect it will be another US, PE-backed type takeover, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be another like of how Chelsea did it. Like Chelsea got off millionaire, and then they got another American in. So,
but Joel, what I find interesting here, right? I mean, we've done this show for years now, right? And every time we ask a guest who comes on board, we always get the bantering. But I think George brought up a very good point with the pound actually being pretty weak at this point of time, and it's something that the Americans actually bank on. And I think it's a very interesting perspective that that Liverpool fans should look at from as well.
Yeah.
And but just hypothetically speaking, and just for the sake of banter, Mio, I want to ask you, right? If an Arab buys over Liverpool, where do you see your beloved United after that? Because you've got Man City, you've got Newcastle, and now potentially Liverpool, right? So where do you see United?
Obviously, I would say it will be regretful to get another Arab money from if if world lasers to be so lah. We still have to see the news lah. But to see an Arab take Liverpool, do you think will happen? I don't think so. Maybe or maybe not. And it will be happen. Who they want to buy? Haaland again? Another world class striker? You can never know. But if let's say
it's all about
if the Arab buy Liverpool, right?
It's more like who they want to buy. And I think they have a list of players that they want to buy right now. I think top the list definitely be Kylian Mbappe. Because Kylian Mbappe is someone who wants to leave PSG. Madrid doesn't want him. I don't think so he'll end up in Bayern. I don't think so he's going to end up in Barcelona either. The next possible logical place that he could go to and probably enhance his career is Liverpool. And if Liverpool is going to be bought by, let's just say, another Saudi or another Arab, like let's put it in our own terms and in their own terms, the oil money. All right, and let's just say if they're bought by another oilers, I think football is gonna blow up. Is definitely gonna blow up because then they will not say they do not have the money to spend. They are definitely going to get in the likes of Jude Bellingham's in
Mbappe as well.
Mbappe, and then they probably even might get the Napoli winger. I can't pronounce his. I forgot his name though. The one that has really rose to stardom after playing this Champions League. So, John, with this kind of money that's being involved, in the Premier League, we have seen how Man City bought it, and then they started off buying the huge players, and they literally broke off, and then now they slowly, I think 5-6 years back, they literally, restarted their entire recruit process and got back and the kings of football. Newcastle are also doing that. They did not start big; they're just slowly progressing. But with a club like Liverpool, where it's so rooted, their management is strong, the recruitment is strong, the manager is strong. Imagine if they were to get the likes of, let's just say, I'm going to put the names in, all right? Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, the Napoli winger. If they were to get these three players, football is done and dusted.
I don't think that would be the case. I mean, again, but look, I mean, always, right? It will just make it a really competitive at the top of the league, right? In terms of Man City. I mean, let's be honest, Man City have stretched ahead, right? The depth of their squad is just ridiculous in terms of, they've got 50 million pound players on the bench, right? Their players could walk into pretty much every other first team, probably including Liverpool's, right? In terms of where their squad's at. I agree with what you said though, in terms of Liverpool. Liverpool are a different proposition compared to if they had the money, players would go to Liverpool over Man City, over Newcastle, over the only clubs that compete, if we're being absolutely honest, are from a historical perspective, the likes of Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, right? In terms of the gravitas that they have, they just need, and they've also won a lot recently as well. So you would genuinely think players would want to go, but you would basically find, I think, 100 million pound, the top players, right? Players will start going for 150, 200 million, right? I mean, when Mbappe's auction starts, it could be pick a number, right? I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Interesting. Yeah, Mio. How about Dibs? Dibs, you know all about investments. You know how a club is run. From club like Aston Villa, how it was bought and all this.
Yep.
Looking at it right now, should Liverpool fans be excited that their clubs are going to be set? Or shouldn't they be like be too much excited? Because like what John said, the pounds are in play right now as well, and also at the same time, we are midway through the season as well. So, will there be any effects of it?
Look, I think like what George said, be careful what you wish for. Like we see from a Villa fan. So even though I'm neutral ground today, but from a Villa perspective, right? I've seen the likes of I've witnessed the fourth owner right now. So I started supporting Villa during Ellis, the Daily Dog, right? Dog Ellis, and how we went on to Lerner after that. And with the amount of money we had, and then how he eventually stopped spending, in 2009, 2010, and how it went downhill. American owner, and how we got bought over by Mr. Mathematician Tony Sia. and then eventually by now NSWE, right? So obviously when Randy Lerner bought over the club, and obviously subsequently when Tony Sia bought over the club, there was a sense of optimism. With the money being spent, I was sure that we will shoot up the table. It did happen with Randy Lerner. We finished three consecutive top six finishes, but after that the investment started drying out, right? And it didn't help that Man City was bought over during that period, and they started buying their way out. And let's be honest, nothing against Man City, but they started buying their way out, buying players. And this was before FFP came in.
Yeah.
Tony Sia, right? He said that he did splurge the cash in terms of the players that was needed during the championship era, but again he almost bought our club, down the drain. He almost went into administration. If not for NSWE, we would have probably been like League Two right now, or probably even ceased to exist.
Yeah.
So with Liverpool fans, I think the sense of optimism is there because they are finally going to be sold. And let's be honest, Liverpool with the club it is and how big of a club they are, I don't think there will be any dodgy dealings, or their owners may be that dodgy. They will still be up there, but I think they still have to have the expectations where I don't think they're gonna get bought over and start spending millions and millions of dollars in the likes of Mbappe or Bellingham or whoever that Napoli winger is. So maybe just tone down a bit and have that. Let's just be on a level playing field. If you really do get bought by that Arab owner or whoever who is rich, and if they're willing to spend that money, then kudos to you guys. But I think maybe try to be a bit level-headed first, I would say.
That's true. That's true. Dibs, it's going to be interesting. Why, guys? Because the moment this takes over, it's going to be interesting. Like what Victor Sim had just said it. Even Newcastle United are not spending recklessly, like many predicted. Prudent and always have this FFF in the background. Can't be like last time. That's true because a club like Newcastle cannot go on a spending spree. You can't possibly get Mbappe to live in Newcastle. I think it's impossible. I don't think so. He will be coming to do. It's just impossible. But with a stature and a club like Liverpool, you have Klopp in the stands, and you're playing with the likes of Salah, Nunes, Diaz, Van Dijk, Alisson. Man, the whole ball game changes because back then when Man City got taken over, they didn't really have this kind of prominent players. Man City was still a low of a club. They weren't really much established yet, and that's the same thing now. Newcastle is coming, but right now we're seeing how. Look at PSG, a well-established club, and look at how they did it. They got the likes of Neymar in, Messi in, Mbappe as well. So that's the kind of impact that we are going to be receiving in English Premier League. If Liverpool were to be taken over by one of those Saudis or Arabians or whoever it is, and they decided to say, look, I love Liverpool, I'm a fan of it, and I would want this club to go haywire. Let's go out there and get three of the best players of every position, and let's challenge for all quadruple titles. It could happen, because right now we are literally seeing a very well-established club that is going to be taken over, which is why I said, if that happens, we are done. Football is done. John, what do you think, man?
I think, the other thing that would concern me if I was a Liverpool fan is, we've just spoken about Villa's potted history, right? Really checkered history in terms of owners, right? We've had some really bad owners. We've had some average owners. Fortunately, it looks like we've got some very decent and good people that own the club now, but you never know, right? The owners can be great in the first few years, and when they fall out of love with the asset, then as we saw with Lerner, that can change. My concern, if I was a Liverpool fan, is £4.5 billion or whatever the cost will be. It's a really high entry point, right? So it depends who buys them. So if it is somebody who buys them for the love of the club, then it's less of an issue, right? And if they have deep pockets and if it's oil money, etc. But if, as likely, it's another USP backed, shall we say, type of deal, similar to maybe Chelsea, then the only way you make a return on that investment, if you're the guy who's spending £4.5 billion, right, to buy the club, is by increasing revenue streams, right? And doing that over the long term. So you're buying these players as an investment, but are revenue streams in football really gonna unless there is a Super League, I think this could have many implications beyond just Liverpool, because if you're going to buy them 4.5, then probably the only way you're going to make that investment is by putting in the Super League and playing, Barcelona every week and Real Madrid every week, right?
Yeah.
And then that then, we all know what that would mean for domestic football, right? In the Premier League, and there are clubs that are itching to go ahead and do it, right? Like all the Spanish clubs, they would go today, right? If they had that choice because of their own financial issues.
That's true. Well, I think, Dibs, a little bit of that because your club has taken over a little bit of investment of it. I know, George, you guys know as well. Me and Mio, maybe our club has been taken over by American owners as well. So you and me, we four, maybe we see things in a very similar perspective. Let's get someone, all right, who actually witnessed a Man City team that was really shit and a Man City team that is kings of the kings right now.
But Joe, before we bring that fella in, right? Today he said he's not in the mood to be nice, right? So he's gonna go like gun blazing and all of that. So Joe,
let me just reiterate what he said. I'm trying to say, okay, what did he say, guys? He's not going to be. He said, anyway, I'm going to be a bit late and a bit not in the mood to be civil today. So he's coming on hard because of all these FSG talks coming in. So he's the right guy to actually tell us what's going to happen, and what is it like to be taken over by a rich-ass billionaire. So yeah, without further ado,
let's bring him on. I've got something for him in a while.
What's up, Zami?
What's up, Napshot Nation? What's up? Hey, hello everyone. Hey,
Zami,
George. Nice
this
to
is
see
Neo.
you.
This is George. And George, this is Haizam, the other four quadruple of Napshot. And then, he is the guy. He represents Man City of Singapore. He has done quite a number of talks about how great Man City is. So right now, he's going to tell us, Zami, you know all about FSG. You know all about FSG out, but you know everything that is going to happen, which is this guy has decided to sell Liverpool. I'm thinking, I've seen some reports that the money that he's asking for is about 4 billion to 5 billion. I'm not too sure how accurate is that, but I think I just see it from Twitter and some of the Liverpool fans posting 5 billion. If an Arab comes in, this club is back. We were discussing this now with John and Dibs and Mio, saying that Man City, when you guys are taken over, you guys are not really established yet. Same goes for Newcastle, not really established, and slowly you guys are making your way up. But a club like Liverpool, if it's going to be taken over by a huge-ass billionaire, it's a game changer, man. Go for it. Talk to us.
Let me first and foremost spill the tea. Okay. So, I feel that money every day, all the time on my mind. Apa dah tips? Okay.
Go for it.
So as what Joe says, okay, I think first and foremost, when FSG came into the picture, we all know that the EPL has always been the lucrative league. Investment from other countries out of Europe, and I think everyone knows for the fact that they couldn't depend on the Europe investments, because as it is, if I think the idea of having a British owner owning a British club is a long gone for conclusion. It won't happen anymore. Football has always been a business. I think with FSG coming into the picture at that time when Liverpool, I think they had that City moment where City had Thaksin. We were that close to actually that point where Thaksin's assets were frozen. Literally, City was buying time in that sense until the Arab money. So for Liverpool fans, I think this is the same scenario that with FSG. Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, if an Arab owner comes in, okay, Liverpool fans have to accept the fact that you guys are no different than Newcastle or City for that matter.
Ooh.
I'm sorry to say this. There's no longer you guys. Like I said, I think like Joe says earlier on. I'm not coming in very civilly. I think with Liverpool fans, now is the time where you guys realize that your owners are selling. You guys got the wish, but if the Arab money comes in, whatever you guys have tweeted, thousands and thousands and thousands of tweets about oil money, right? It's gonna bite you back hard in the ass.
But for them, they say that the oil money will be their fans. What? Hopefully, that it's some fan who's going to take over. What? So I think this doesn't work for them, right? I mean, according to those Liverpool fans, right?
Let's be realistic, lah. It's just pure jealousy in that sense. I mean, if you look at it, if you look in the market, I mean, if you look at the economics right now, you don't see you do you think that people like Bill Gates or Elon Musk having an interest in football? No, because they know that football, especially English football, yes, it's lucrative, but to pump in money, right? Sooner or later, you know what? It's a foregone conclusion. The Glazers have shown it.
Yep.
FSG has shown it. The American owners, like I cannot relate. How am I supposed to relate? Like, unless you are doing a Wrexham lah, where you respect the club culture. Eventually, when the money start to run out, then you realize that, hey, you know what? I have no connection. I have no loyalty in that sense. And I can say the same about City. But I think for the UAE owners, they actually, I noticed that they actually pump in money in a way. I think I call it the other way of invasion lah, in that sense lah, for lack of a better word lah. Buy the loyalty by putting your assets, by buying over assets that the country itself cannot afford.
True.
So yeah.
Let's just take a little bit of this comment here from Alexander Lee. If this trend was to continue, our future generations will be watching APL instead of EPL, Arab Premier League, whereby all the Arabian boys are trying to outdo each other for their sake. And there's a good one from Victor Sims. Todd still looks an awkward fit for Chelsea, not going to lie. Liverpool, we will need to see them. Yeah, because when I was looking at Chelsea, Todd Bowley and all this, he don't really write to me as someone who kind of fits Chelsea's rhythm of how they work. So it's going to be difficult how the new buyers are going to see Liverpool. Are they going to see Liverpool as a business, or are they going to view Liverpool as a sporting entity and say, now look, we know how Liverpool is. Let's build this club. Let's build a bloody dynasty. They had the chance to do that, and then they slipped off. But I feel right now, if the right owners come in, they do really stand a chance to really create a dynasty for the next 10, 20 years. And, it could be just the likes of Man Cities and Liverpool plying their trade in the first and second place on midfield. So it's going to be difficult. But hopefully that didn't happen, because if that happened, I'm going to quit watching football. Is there any local leagues in your country, though? Maybe like an amateur league. I want to do a podcast on that, maybe. Because football is done if that happens. But happy for these guys. Finally, the American owners are selling. Mio, hopefully United sell someone, but I don't see that happening. So thank you so much for this. And I think this will be the last of him we'll be seeing it. So Zami, I know you love this guy to bits, but as I said, oil is about to start to drip. So with that said, guys, with this guy coming in, he's trying to leave the Premier League. He's trying to leave England. He's trying to leave and say, I've had enough here. Enough is enough. And we have got another man here who's saying that, no, you know what? I want England. This is where I want to be. This is who I want to be. The good evening guy is here, man. Dave, I'm going to start with you. Yes. Aston Villa, they were cruising through with Steven Gerrard. There were a lot of issues coming up here and there. And this whole recruitment process, hiring process, I remember you asking a lot of people, what your thoughts on this, and they were saying, this guy is not going to make it. He's not really cut up for the Premier League. There were a lot of excuses, coming out. I know there are a lot of reasons this guy was saying. So for all you guys that are watching, tune in and comment down there, all right? What do you think of Unai Emery's?
Hey, Joe. Do you want me to be civil today, or do you want me to be like last week where I was just ranting my head off?
let's receiver, guys. We've got another 30 minutes to go.
Okay. I mean, okay. I don't want to talk so much about Unai Emery because I want to hear George's point of view on that. But if you ask me personally, and I think I've always stated this, right? My first pick would have been Pochettino, right? But since Emery was picked, and I think he was handpicked by Nassif himself, so I will be behind the manager. I was behind Steven Gerrard up till the very end, and it's only towards the last few games where I felt that he needed to go. So with Emery, I think I am going to give him my full support. I am going to stick by him no matter what Arsenal fans says. Yes, I'm going to call out Arsenal fans no matter what Arsenal fans says. I'm going to stick with behind Unai Emery, and I'm going to give him my full support. But with that being said, I want to hear more from George. George, walk me through that thought process that you had personally from the time Steven Gerrard got sacked, and the speculations we had with Tuchel, Pochettino, even Sean Dyche, as a matter of fact, Amiron from Sporting, and finally landing Emery. I want to know your thought process. Go ahead.
So I think, I mean, first of all, it was look, we were just delighted when Gerrard got sacked finally, right? I mean, we were getting relegated. There was no doubt about that. If Gerrard had stayed, we were the worst team in the league to watch. It was the dullest football we've ever seen. It was terrible, right? It was clear that he'd lost the players quite early in terms of some of his, shall we say, more ego-driven moves. And that was, I mean, I think the Gerrard era will always be defined. He did things that he just did not have to do. His ego or power plays, within the dressing room, and he just didn't have to upset players in the way that he did, which is really, considering what a player he was, his management, or complete lack of it, I think ultimately is what finished him. And I don't think he will. I feel sorry for any club that hires him. Let's put it that way. Him coming back to Villa would be a game and a half, right? In terms of if he was in the opposition dugout, let's put it that. There's no love, right? I think from anybody at Aston Villa towards Steven Gerrard. Moving on to kind of the managerial discussion. Again, look, I mean, non-Villa fans always, have a laugh at our expense, right? In the sense of we think we're this big club, and we've not done a lot in terms of over the years since the mid-90s in terms of winning trophies, etc. But Villa is a huge club, right? In terms of a storied club, in terms of that. And I think what was, our dream, appointment would have been the likes of Pochettino, Tuchel, right? These were the names, that we had little chance of hiring, but that got us excited, right? And then on the other side of the list, you had names like Sean Dyche, which didn't get us excited at all, right? But I think from what I've heard, I think the owners were very clear who they wanted. They identified Emery very quickly, and those conversations moved very quickly with Emery, despite the links to Tuchel and Pochettino. They were never really on the cards. I think the club wanted Emery, and I remember saying, I was speaking with a friend a couple of weeks ago before the appointment. I said the most important thing for a club like Villa is the cultural fit of the manager has to be right. If the manager can embed the right culture in the same way that we had under Dean Smith, then we are set up for success, because we've got the owners, we've got the stadium, we've got a good, I would say upper half Premier League squad now, considering we've only been in the league 4 years, right? In terms of, people forget sometimes that we're in the Championship, and now finally, we have an excellent manager, despite what any Arsenal fan would have you tell, right? I mean, you look at the performance, even against Manchester United, he had 3 days to coach that team, right? And you look at how abysmal we were against Newcastle, and how drilled we were for Man United, and considering historically the context of the trauma that Aston Villa fans have about this fixture, right? In terms of we've not beaten them at home. But I was 15 years old, right? The last time Aston Villa beat Manchester United at home.
I wasn't even a Villa fan the last time Villa beat United.
Exactly, right. I mean, we've had a generation of Villa fans, right, that have grown. I've never seen us beat Man United at home. And also what's important is the context of we have lost to United in some really dodgy ways, right? In games that, quite frankly, were taken away from us. And there's so many examples. And the worst one was the League Cup final when Vidic should have been sent off, right? But there's 10 games like that. But the most impressive thing in that game was every time we have played Man United historically, as soon as United score, or the last 20 minutes are absolute horror shows, right? Because all the tension in the stadium, everybody knows United always end up scoring 3 goals in the last 10 minutes against us, right? All of that history comes back. But the most amazing thing about that game was how drilled the players were. We never looked in trouble, right? The only time, the dodgy deflection, right? We couldn't have done anything about that. But then we came out second half and we just went at it again, right? And we were the exact opposite of Newcastle, extremely professional, really tactical. I've not seen a Villa team play like that. I mean, we were clearly inviting Man United on to create the space. The same players.
You think that this is all because of Une?
Yes,
because Une did this.
Absolutely.
Really? But the thing is, when you guys lost to Fulham 3-0, and then Gerrard got sacked, I think your assistant manager took over. You guys beat Brentford 4-0.
So we played well against.
It's like a bounce. It's like a manager bounce. Like, you got sacked, and then you guys trashed 4-0, and then right now Une gets appointed. Yes, you guys beat 3-1 United, but why is this all about Une still? No,
I think so. I mean, the Brentford game was absolutely about it not being Gerrard, right? The players had clearly lost all motivation to play for him. It was a soulless place, right? And if you're a professional footballer, yes, right, you do it for the money and you do it for that, but also you do it, you want to play attacking football, right? And you want to play and enjoy it. And I think the Brentford game was just a release for everybody. What was really interesting, and I'm trying not to be overly positive here or have a knee-jerk reaction. What was really interesting about that Man United game was how tactically we approached that in a very, very different way than we have approached any game that Villa have played in the last 4 years, right? I mean, every single player knew exactly what they were doing. It's quite interesting. Ollie Watkins made a comment after the game, and he said, we changed the way that we played, and suddenly, as forwards, we got far more space because the defenders were encouraged to have more touches, to create the triangles, to pass in. And he had that impact within 3 days, right? So I'm really excited about what Emery could do at Villa. I think we're very lucky with the World Cup break coming up for us because he's going to have 6 weeks to really drill this team.
It's like a preseason. He's like
exactly
preseason, no?
Exactly, yeah, and a pre-season with a proper tactical manager, right?
Yeah.
And a guy who's going to really use that. And I think we're going to come back a different team in December, and we have to because we've got a tough fixture list as soon as kind of the World Cup finishes. But I think there's a huge opportunity because the league is so tight this year. When you take out the likes of the top two that have run away, so Arsenal and Man City will definitely be the top two. I mean, it's still not, we would need to have a very, very good run, but still, the League Cup and, is if we beat Man United, could be an option. He's a cup specialist, right, in these one-off games, Emery is. And maybe we could squeeze 7th or 8th, right, which would be, considering how awful the start of our season was, that would be an amazing success and then set us up next year. So I think there's a really good comment that's just been made as well by Victor about Emery has done well at clubs that, shall we say, have been less. He's done well at middle-sized clubs, right? In terms of, I mean, he did very well at PSG, but I think he's a perfect fit for us culturally. I think he respects the club. He's clearly got a good relationship with the ownership, and we've got money to spend as well. So you think about, in January, we need to add a striker. We probably need to add a centre back and maybe a winger. But I think Villa are ready to rock and roll now.
Because right now, because when Une was in Arsenal and all, the expectations led for him was pretty much really high. But right now in Villa, the expectations are not so high, and he's able, like what Victor said. No, he's able to bring Villarreal all the way to Europa League finals, win the cup. And he has done great with all these teams whereby the expectation is not to win the league. Your expectation is to win the cup. You got to win something. No, but the expectation of the club is get to at least a Europe season, or maybe a 7th or 8th place, and then we progress from there, and then we see what we can do. Zami, you know of all people, how clubs like Villa, Wolves, and all these, that they are really, fancy with good managers in them, and they hardly get good managers on them. They usually get the below pass one. But right now, like Villa, if they're able to get Unai Emery in, that guy is a tactical genius, and he's really good in this. Do you think it's high time, we can start to look at Villa and say that, look, I think they're coming back?
you see,
Why you want to ask Zami to answer this question?
I need to get a City point of view, man. I need to get a City point of view.
Okay, I think with the fact that Unai Emery goes to Villa, I think that first and foremost that's really a coup for Villa in that sense, because it shows that the manager has ambition. And I think Tips have always had an issue, because when Gerrard came to Villa, is because the director of football was a former Liverpool director or something, like Tips. Yeah. So I guess that factor shows that Gerrard was out of his depth. People and then when the fact that Villa gets Emery, it says a lot about the ambition that they have. Yeah, it's going to be a long-term process, that's for sure. But at least with Emery, making it, Villa climb slowly, from being a so-called higher mid-table team to challenging. Like maybe that Emery may do a Newcastle for all. You don't remember that when we talked about Newcastle, when Eddie Howe went to Newcastle, people were like sure, like Newcastle got all the money, they get Eddie Howe. This might be the spark that Villa needed for the longest time. A proven European manager who has track record, has always been, when you put him with teams with lesser expectations in terms of this season, you're not winning the title, you put a good fight, mid-table. I can see that he will do well. I think the baptism of fire when Villa versus United, when people were expecting, United to scroll, to roll over, Villa, and prove them wrong. I think that's really
we did end up rolling over. We roll a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right.
Just adding on to what Zami says.
We are hoping for that. But go for it. We want to hear
adding on to what Zami said and what George said as well, right? You see, when Gerrard was hired, right, we all eventually knew that it was a Christian Perslow player. Christian Perslow went all out to hire his friend to join the club, right? And interestingly, when Unai Emery was actually hired, Perslow didn't have much of a say. In fact, it was Nassef who went straight to Perslow, and this was reported by Ashley Priest, and he said that Nassef gave him a blank white paper and said, "Hey, I want you to lead this team. I want you to coach this team, and would you take it up?" So it's very clear that I think that Gerrard experiment that came with Perslow was a massive failure. Yes, it set us back 3 months. After that. So after surviving the EPL on the last day of the season a couple of seasons back, and then trailblazing during COVID season, and eventually finishing 11, and eventually when Dean Smith was sacked last season, after not a great start, we all expected us, even Villa fans. I mean, I'll be honest, and I speak on behalf of everyone when I say that we were optimistic when Gerrard came in, right? We felt that he could be that man, but I think, but Anwari always said that, right? He got found out very quickly, with or without Michael Beale, and it just became very sour. So I will still, keep. I obviously beating United, I'm happy, right? Because as a Villa fan, I've never seen Villa beat United at Villa Park, as I said earlier. I've never experienced that at all. So, but I'm still going to keep my cards close to myself. And then 6 weeks preseason, which is a great preseason, considering that most of our players won't be going to the World Cup as well. So I feel bad for them, but it's good for us. They can get in the Emery ball, and we see where it pans out. But I actually want to ask Mio this question, right? Mio, I'm sure you watched the game. And this is not bento, or this is not me, having a go at you. What actually happened on that day? Because I was saying that United is going to beat Villa. Because it's like a foregone conclusion, right? Last season when we drew you guys and beat you at Old Trafford, that was, I thought, 1-0. So it was a foregone conclusion, thinking that Villa is going to lose, even though it's Emirates' first game, baptism of fire. I was hoping that we will put up a good fight and eventually lose. And it's United probably going to get a penalty in the 75th minute somehow. But Mio, run me through what happened. What like run me through what happened to United that day.
I think for United, I think might be fatigue because due to the Europa League game, but that's not the excuse lah. Like what you always say, it's not an excuse. But I think the missing Bruno, that's the puzzle that we miss in midfield. Because Donny is been rubbish in that match. You see, without Bruno,
you wouldn't have got a penalty.
We cannot attack. People are saying that, United must take out Bruno, everything. And now you see, without Bruno, we are rubbish. I think for me, right, the formation is wrong. To put Fred and Eriksen up front. Do not play Donny Benedict. I would like you always say lah, Garnacho is a good start lah. I would like him to play. But Rashford as a right wing, he never played right wing before. But I don't know lah. I trust Edu Ten Hag. Let's see what he will do in this Carabao Cup lah. Hopefully have a revenge against United.
We are hoping. But the thing is, this is how it's going to turn out, guys. For a Villa fan from a point of view, right? Started off great, where you guys won Brentford 4-0, and then bam, you guys lost 4-0 to Newcastle. Now you guys won United 3-1. It could go all wrong, especially this week. If Friday you guys were to lose United, and the pre-World Cup against Brighton with the loss, you guys are kickstarting the post-World Cup fixtures against Liverpool, Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, and Southampton. I think that the big games will be Liverpool and Tottenham back to back,
and Wolves as well,
and Wolves as well. So it could be looking at a possible 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4.
But why are you looking at in that way where it's going to be okay? Let's put it to this.
I'm looking at it from a point of view, from a statistical point of view. Why? Because when you guys beat Brentford 4-0, and then you guys lost to Newcastle, yeah.
Correct, but we spoke about this last week. Remember, we said that with with Unai's first few games, it's going to be United in the League Cup, Brighton, who's actually doing pretty decent. After the World Cup break, we are playing Liverpool, Spurs, Wolves. 6 potential fixtures that is very tough, and I don't think Leeds is going to be a walkover as well. But I think where so with what George said earlier, right, with the Brentford game is probably the players let loose, and then the Newcastle game. Let's be honest, bro. Newcastle is on a different level this season, and I think anybody can vouch for that. They lost to Liverpool last minute. They almost beat Man City, and that was 3-3, if I'm not wrong, at Etihad itself, if I'm not wrong, or St. James. But 3-3, they were 3 goals down and they came up with 3-3. So I'm not saying that Newcastle is a foregone conclusion, but Newcastle is on a different level this season, right? So coming back to United, like I said, I did not expect us to beat United, but when I didn't watch the game, I'll be very honest. You guys can mock me. I didn't watch the game.
He was playing cards, George.
I was playing cards. I didn't watch the game, George. Yeah. So, but when I caught the replay, the last 15 minutes and the replay, I was actually very surprised, or I would say rather pleasantly surprised with how we played, or how Unai Emery set the team out to play. Will this sustain? It begs to be seen. But I think with that sense of optimism, I think it could go either way. So
I mean, just to add to that, the interesting piece is, even this season, our better performances have been against the bigger teams. Like even when we played Man City, for example, right, recently in the few games, we played well in those games. Where we've really let ourselves down is away from home, and also against the lesser sides, right, in the league, where we should have won. So. And if you look at our players, we've got some good players. I mean, look at Leon Bailey's performance, right, on the weekend. You look at Ramsey's performance. our best player, Kamara, is just coming back from a serious injury. He's going to transform that midfield, right?
Yep.
After, whether he goes to the World Cup or not. We've still got issues in the squad, Yep. Clearly, we need to get a striker, right? And once we get a striker that can score goals, then we'll really be moving. But I think finally there's confidence now that the really important piece of having a manager, and it sounds really simple, but we know now that Villa will be drilled well for each opponent before every game, right? That's now a guarantee, and that gives us a chance now, right?
Look,
in every game.
Even John McGinn, someone who I've been slating for the longest time.
He played well, huh? He played well, man.
When he came on, I was like, oh no, him again. But he surprised me. Morgan Sanson, he came on and he did some couple of flicks and tricks as well. And interestingly, do you know that Unai masterclass was so on point that even United, Ramsey scored a goal, he scored an own goal, he assisted a goal, and he drew the foul that led to the free kick that Luka Dean scored.
Oh yeah,
but
all four goals, Ramsey was involved.
To answer you why the Luka Dean goal was not by of course is by Ramsey, but the one that helping Luka Dean to score is Martinez. Your Emmanuel Martinez. As you see from a video in Twitter, Martinez was moving the Newcastle Aston Villa players. And also it was a penalty at the part.
And I think a lot of goalkeepers are going to follow through doing that moving forward. And I think it's going to become a norm. I mean, Jod, I think you're going to agree with me on that, right? With what Martinez did.
I'm surprised that Martinez in the video was showing that the free kick for Luka Dean. I was amazed with Martinez doing that to.
That was a masterclass.
I think that is just a clickbait, guys. Luka Dean was
maybe a little bit, but
Martinez was yards away. What is he going to tell him? Hey, Luka Dean, put it into the left-hand corner. Come on, guys.
But, no. So what he was doing, Mia's right. So what he was doing was he was basically the Villa players that were in the wall. He was positioning them so that they distracted De Gea. So that's what he was trying to do was basically guide them to for the distraction.
He was guiding the players on the wall, not guiding
exactly.
Not Luka Dean, guiding the players on the wall.
Yeah. And maybe it made a difference, maybe it didn't, right? But it's a great video, and look, all Villa fans love Martinez, right? So,
well, it was good. Let's hopefully, but I think if there's one player that Unai Emery can literally build, and I think he could be someone up and coming. I think it's Jacob Ramsey. I saw the way he played. I think I saw the way he played when he was under Gerrard. Even the first game itself, there wasn't really much about him. But when I saw him playing just one game against Unai, I really find how he was able to find spaces, run with the ball, was able to penetrate those passes, and it was a joy to watch him play. And I think you guys have got a good manager and is up and running. I think this is a good comment. Let's just take this up with Keith. Agreed. I know we could push big teams like Chelsea, where Kepa kept us out again and again. Against Man City, we drew them and brought the fire to them. But again, teams like Leeds, yes, this is the one. Nottingham Forest, we just can't break them down. They were so poor. Sorry, I just want to say that again.
And he goes on to say we just were equally
they were so poor, and we just equally poor. That to me was a sign that Gerrard was hopelessly tactical. Let me just say that again. That was a sign that Gerrard was hopeless tactically. All right, sorry guys. He's at this most motivational manager. Motivation that has lost its spark. Well said, Keith. Consistency.
Joe. I want to ask this question to George. Okay, do you think that Gerrard is actually a motivational manager rather than a good manager tactically?
I think Gerrard is a terrible manager. He couldn't motivate his way out of a paper bag. Seriously, I look. He's tactically weak. No, okay, he's tactically incompetent. Right, I would say first of all.
John, give me a minute. Just give me 5 seconds, yeah. All right. The stage is yours.
Okay, so okay. First of all, he's tactically incompetent. Right, he had no business becoming a Premier League manager, and he was basically delegating all of the coaching to his assistant manager. Right, so when he went to QPR, there was a huge issue, and we got a new assistant manager in, but clearly he wasn't able to deliver that in the way that Emery leads every single session. I don't know if you guys noticed, the day that we appointed Emery, he didn't do a video conference, right? Normally in the way that most teams would. He went straight to work on the training ground with the players, and he led every single session. That was just not Gerrard. So first of all, he's not a tactician. The second thing about Gerrard as well, and this was the bit that really surprised, I think, Villa fans, is he has the worst man management I think we have seen probably from any manager at Villa Park. And I think that was my guess at that is because he was such a player, right? And probably one of the best midfielders the world has ever seen. He really was that good. That sense of why can't you do what I was able to do? For him, it came so easy, but he's working with lesser players, right? That need a pat on the back, that need that support. He never needed that because he had that drive within himself. But I think also, you look at his treatment of Mings at the start of the season, the captaincy issue. You look at the way that he always called players out publicly, right? That's not how you run a team in the modern world, right? Whether you like it or not, whether you subscribe to this view that, footballers are highly paid and they should motivate themselves. You look at all the best managers, Guardiola, he finds a way to motivate every single one of his players as well as tactically, right? You look at Klopp. I mean, what a great motivator, of players in terms of, and a tactician as well. And so, I as I said earlier, and by the way, it's not personal for Villa fans against Gerrard, but I think it's very unlikely you're going to find a single Villa fan that has a positive thing to say about him, right? And he needs, he needs to take some time out, I think, and reflect on why Villa failed for him. And if I was going to give him some advice, I'd say go to the Championship, learn your craft, show a bit of humility, right? And maybe he'll get another chance, right? But if he comes straight back into the Premier League, it will finish exactly the same way as it was with Villa.
Ooh, John, I'm just going to just touch a little bit on this. I think Zam also would say this deep as well. Do you think a man or a guy like Gerrard should actually drop down to Championship level?
He has to, if he's serious about learning his craft, right? In terms of but the problem is his ego is too big, right? He wanted to go and take Rangers, right? It was a big job. He wanted to take Villa, big job, and he wasn't able to support. He wasn't able to back it up, right? In terms of on the training pitch or with the players. Now he will absolutely wait for a big job again, and the same thing will play out as it did at Villa Park. But
interesting. Oh crap! Sorry guys, something just happened. So it's going to be interesting in how this teams is going to line up. I hopefully feel that Unai Emery is able to be able to coach this Villa side going. But Sunil is saying that he probably wants.
I think that's what he wants. He probably wants to take over Liverpool now.
I feel so. I feel that he should take over Liverpool now itself, or maybe next summer itself. I think he is.
Bro, they're already going to miss out on Champions League. Why want to make it worse for them?
No, bro, no. I think Gerrard is the man to take Liverpool to the next level after Jurgen Klopp. He's fitted for that. He's good for that. Like
Joe, coming from a United fan, you shouldn't be saying that,
I genuinely feel for the guy, guys. Come on, I'm being really genuine right here. I feel that he deserves a shot, to manage his whole club. I think he should be given.
See, Joe, look at this. Look at how much Villa fans have been affected. A Villa fan is telling Sunil, don't. Given the standard of managers in EPL, Liverpool can do so much better.
Hey, come on. There is no Liverpool without Steven Gerrard, guys. What do you mean by Liverpool can do so much better? There will be
no more Liverpool after Steven Gerrard takes over.
If Gerrard is the manager of Liverpool and finally he got to kiss the Premier League trophy.
Yeah.
Finally,
look at it. Guys, right now the takeover is happening. All right. Someone is going to buy Liverpool. Klopp, looking at his the way that he stays in a certain club, he may not want to renew his contract. All right. The next possible option will be trust in Liverpool, trust in Gerrard. All right. Build the club around him, get it to somewhere, and then get him sacked. maybe
The
what we'll
world
do
gone mad.
All right, man. With that said, guys, we're gonna just wrap this Villa conversation to a little bit. John, thank you so much for giving your insights about Villa. I know, and this has been telling us that you have been wanting to unleash the Gerard Ren for a longest time. So I hope Napshot is giving you the platform to do so. And guys, a lot of things happened over the week. We had FSG coming out. We have Unai Emery tearing apart United. FSG only selling shares. Not the whole club. Okay, yeah. I think this is something that I've heard as well, whereby it starts like this, guys. It starts like this. It starts by giving a little bit of shares, maybe 10%, 20%, 30%, and then it goes on to the full deal of, what is this? Just like always. Exactly, man. Yeah. So eventually the club will sell their full shares again, because you can't just possibly but unless if there's someone out there who's willing to pay like 4 billion or 5 billion of whatever FS is asking for, then yes, the entire 100% of the shares will be given to the owner. Zami, am I right to say that, right? Because I know you cannot sell the club fully. You have to go in by
yes,
shares.
you need to slowly build up your shares, because I think the first thing is that unless it's a collective agreement that from owners to owners lah. But I think because FSG is a consortium of American investors,
Yes.
so I think it's
correct.
going to be quite tricky unless they really do I would say a takeover where what, I pay the
5 billion.
I pay the 5 billion, I
Yeah.
pay parent, and you can just go off, and then I'll take over absolute ownership of the club, which I
Yes,
think
I
there
think
is
it's
a
gonna happen.
possibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then again, the question is this: like, if you look at the market, right, United has been trying very best to sell. In that sense, I mean, Glazers, but then again, no one is kind of like biting it, and I think the idea is that it's always the factor that we want to recoup whatever we have invested in that sense,
Yes.
And I think the selling idea has like what United is, Liverpool, historically a big club, a brand in that sense. But I think the owners or the would-be next owners of Liverpool will have to look at it. It's like, are they going to do it as a business, or is it going to do like something like City, like how Newcastle are doing?
Yes.
I think that's the question. That's the question that Liverpool fans need to ask. When it comes to the next owner, because it's a lottery, that's for sure. But then again, you can either get a Newcastle type of lottery, you can get a City type of lottery, or you can get those previous foreign investors like Portsmouth, where the owners come in and have zero clue about what they exactly, or even we talk about the recent one, Chelsea.
Yes.
So
correct.
it's really something that don't be careful what you wish for in that sense.
All right, that's a good one. Hopefully, something happens for Liverpool as well. If they're able to get FSG out of the club, it will be great deal done. All right, guys. So FSG happened, Unai happened, and then the Champions League happened as well, guys. So we're gonna talk a little bit of the Champions League and the Europa League draw as well. We're not gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna just touch on a couple of key matches that is going to be played. So. Zami, we're going to start with you. I know City is always getting an easy draw. So I'm guessing this is an easy one. You're going to win it easily? No issues?
I mean, okay lah, on paper, it looks easy. But I think Leipzig, you don't discount Leipzig in terms of like they have always been in the top 3 in the Bundesliga.
This fella, on paper only easy, but then will stroll his way through. Don't ask him lah, Joe.
Tips, why you not being civil right now?
I think all of us agree. I think that the game that I want to talk about is Liverpool versus Real Madrid, because this has been an ongoing, I think, for the past 3 seasons. I would say, I think maybe back till 2018, correct me if I'm wrong, when they lost to Madrid in the Champions League final, where Salah got injured, and then they lost to Madrid again 2 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, right? Last season, they lost to Madrid as well. And it's going to be interesting. How are they going to fare this time around? Because this time around it's going to be played over 2 legs. Usually over one leg, it's a bit difficult to win a club. But if it's going to be happening over 2 legs, I think this is where Madrid is going to suffer because they have to play at Anfield. Dips, I'm going to start with you. Do you think Liverpool has what it got takes to actually kill Madrid off in this 2-legged tie?
There were talks going around, right? FSG wanted to sell up after he saw the Champions League fixture.
Oh boy!
No lah. I'm sorry, but I don't see.
Glazers should just faint and die. They got Barcelona. All right. Keep it to Liverpool.
No, I don't see Liverpool making it out of this round of 16. I'm gonna call it that Madrid is gonna beat them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For real?
I already said Liverpool's not gonna qualify for Champions League this season. I think they're gonna.
Yeah. And then you're gonna add on to make it worse, whereby you're gonna say that they're not gonna win Madrid.
No, I don't think they'll beat Madrid. I'm sorry. I don't think they'll beat Madrid.
They're gonna win the Champions League lah. The same
God,
old scenario. The many seasons
Zabi?
ago. Many seasons ago, remember they won the Champions League, but they were like out of the top 3 of the Champions League.
They were 5th or 6th. Yeah,
that was 2005, bro, when they beat AC Milan and then they
because guys, they want to make it special because it's Istanbul.
Yeah, but there's a lot of added effect. Let's ask Jot though. Jot, you know a lot of history about these two clubs. These two clubs has going at it for the past 5 years. They have a lot of revenge to settle as well. Do you think Liverpool right now stand a better chance because it's a 2-legged tie?
Absolutely. I mean, you think about the final, right, last year in terms of, I guess, Real Madrid. It was an amazing goalkeeping performance, right? That stopped them over 2 legs, and particularly remind me, are they playing it? Where's the second leg? Is it at the Bernabeu or is it at Anfield?
The first leg will be played in Anfield, and the second leg is Bernabeu.
Okay, well, you've got to follow. I think you've got to go with Madrid then, right? And also Madrid's team is insane, right? I mean, they are stacked, and you look at Liverpool, just not the same team. I mean, they always come to life in the Champions League, but it's an end of an era, right? I think, it looks like
Say that again.
It's the end of an era, right? I mean,
Eric Ten Hag that said it is Jot Gill. Jot, I'm going to put you in the limelight because you have just said something. So can you repeat what you just said?
It's all the hallmarks of the end of an era at Anfield, right?
Coming from a Villa fan now, man. So my manager said it, and then a Villa fan has said it. All right, man. This is personal for Liverpool fans. All right. So I don't. So Mio, what do you think, Mio? Do you think Liverpool has got what it takes this time around? Because it's a 2-legged tie. Usually, 1-legged, it's a bit difficult. It's just a game played in 90 minutes and all. What do you think?
Let's say if what Liverpool will buy in January, if they never buy anything, they buy anyone, Real Madrid has a chance to win. Because you see, the parts of Vinicius Junior, Valverde, and Benzema up front, even Hazard. You think Liverpool can cope with Arnold and Robinson with the poor form? I think
not really much of a Hazard though, because Hazard is really is gone done.
Yes, sorry, I only against Liverpool.
Hazard is on the way to Villa. 17
million. Hazard is on the way to Villa right now.
After Coutinho.
So I think agreed that I know Madrid is going to prevail against Liverpool. I don't know, guys. I'm leaning towards a little bit on Liverpool this side because Anfield is a different breed when it comes to European nights. And it just is so magical there. Even Barca did not even able to do it. They overturned a bloody 3-0 first leg deficit, man. So a lot of things going on. But that's the thing is the first leg is happening in Anfield. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing because I usually know if you're a club who wants to really go on to win Champions League, you rather play away first and then you play home. But right now it doesn't make sense because there is no away goal rule in place. So either way you play is as long as there's no away goal rule.
The away goal rule, I think, is more of that home factor in the second leg. I guess that could spur them on, lah.
Yes, correct. So right now, because there's no away goal rule, it takes up the excitement factor as well. So we'll see. Hopefully, get it. And the next one, all right. The next big thing, I think there are a lot of talks going on. I saw Mark Goldbridge ranting. I've saw a few of my other United fan influencers ranting as well. The Europa League draw. So this is what happened, guys. Yesterday we were so happy. I was about to do the Europa League draw live. Bring some news to the guys in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. See if we're able to make them happy. I was hoping the draw was going to go on for about 20 minutes. And then maybe towards the end, that's where the excitement comes in. So the first ball came in was Barcelona. Literally this. Barcelona. All right, I'm drinking. I'm literally drinking my tears. And the next thing you know, the second ball was United.
I think it was weak.
This is how I was. This is how I was. I was literally stunned. I was just stunned. I don't know what to do. I've never been speechless in my life. And this is the only time I was like live, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. It was really, I don't know, guys. It's just
it was weak. I saw the replay.
Like, look at it. In the League Cup, we got Aston Villa. We can't get an easy draw out of it. And in the in the Europa League, we got Barcelona. Zami, is this where Eric Ten Hag says,
You're asking, you see, he's laughing inside. We got Leipzig, you all got Barcelona.
sayonara? I mean, there are a lot of things happening between United and Barcelona. FDG.
To be honest with you, right, with Barcelona form, right, I see that United will nick it lah. Because in terms of like United has always been inconsistent in that sense, but compared their form with Barcelona, which right now I think I think starting to decline in that sense, the form, right? I think United will nick it lah. On paper, yeah, it looks because it's like the historical giants between United and Barca. But if you look at the form right now, I think United will nick it lah. It's gonna be a close like 2-1, you know. That kind of result. It's not gonna be like a very like the old times of United versus Barca, that kind of that game where it's gonna be high scoring. Yeah, it's not gonna be that very high scoring game. I think it's just gonna be that Ten Hag is gonna do his slow rebuild process, nick it 2-1, and then Barca is gonna be out lah, because you see the fact is that the dropping out from the Champions League it really says a lot about their momentum, their form. And then even if you look at the league, like right now they are compared to United, more inconsistent.
In the league for La Liga.
Yeah. And the league they're playing not too bad. That's the thing. It's a bit difficult.
They're playing not too bad for La Liga.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be, it's more for United to lose actually.
Hopefully this happens. Like what Farid says. Anthony Lisandro clean sheet over 2 legs. I would love this.
But to answer Farid, Martinez will be missing in the first leg.
And sadly, Lisandro is not going to play in the first leg. So hopefully, Barca, United, this is going to be another good one. God knows that this is a good one for Alex. God knows the Man United fans are so desperate to see Dion play and then they grant the wish. Exactly, man. So UEFA has granted the wish of us, to do that. PK retired after he saw the United tie.
That is a good. That really is a good remark.
That's a good one. All right, guys. So we have come to the end, almost the end of the episode here. So we're gonna do the fixtures that's gonna happen this weekend. So
no Arsenal preview. Arsenal and Chelsea preview.
Sorry, say again.
No Arsenal and Chelsea preview. Oh, because no Arsenal fan, is it?
No, Mio.
You are asking for it, Mio. You're asking for it. You're asking for it.
You leave as a guest, Mio. All right. So calm down, Mio. Just calm down. All right. Sorry, guys. Where is this? Oh, the EPL fixtures. Okay. All right. Can you guys see it? Do I need to make it bigger?
Okay.
I think it's good. Yep, it's good.
It's good. Huh? All right. Okay. So we are match day 16, guys. So this is where it gets interesting because we're gonna put John in here. All right.
It's the last match day before we go for break.
I've never thought I would say this because usually we would say international break is coming in, but we are going into the World Cup and we are not going to be able to witness football for a month at least. The next time these guys are going to be playing is probably the last week of December. So it's going to be very miserable for all of us. If you guys have not signed up for World Cup yet, so please do. We're going to do the fixture. So we have the match day 16 and we're going to start with Man City and Brentford. What is the irony, man? First one is Man City, Brentford, and then Jot gets Liverpool and Southampton. All right, Dibs, go for it. Man City versus Brentford. No-brainer?
No brainer. 3-0 Man City.
3-0 Man City. Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate in this because the other time when I said, Man City and Fulham played, I said Fulham is going to win, yeah? And Man City almost faltered. All right, so I'm going to go for Brentford. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. All right. Okay, next game. It's going to be
give me the same shit you're smoking, Joe.
Say it.
Give me the same shit you're smoking.
Hey, come on, man. Fulham almost did the same shit, man. You look at it. City needed a last-minute penalty to win it. Fulham gave them a hell, man. So you never know. You never know what Brentford and Ivan Toney can do it. Jot, go for it, man. Liverpool versus Southampton. I think the last time when they played, it was quite of I think Liverpool won it easily, but just that Southampton have a habit of conceding more than 5 goals in a game these days.
I'll go with. I mean, look, it's going to be Liverpool victory, right? But 2-0 because they'll have a new manager, maybe, right? Southampton, so they'll have a bit of a bounce, but it wouldn't be enough.
Won't be enough. All right, Liverpool to win 2-0. And next one, Zami, is Bournemouth versus Everton. Ooh, this seems like a game that you would stay up to watch.
Man, I mean, coming to game, both teams lost. I think it's going to be a draw, lah. It's going to be a 1-1 draw.
All right. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. All right. Okay, Bournemouth and Everton, 1-1 draw. Mio, West Ham versus Leicester City.
Ooh, a tough game. Leicester also now picking up.
West Ham is picking up as well. Yeah.
West Ham is not picking up, bro. West Ham has been doing pretty.
West Ham lost, last game. They lost game. Crystal Palace 2-1. Leicester won again Everton.
Leicester has been on fire.
Leicester. Sorry. I mean, Leicester has been on the rise with James Maddison.
I think Leicester will win slightly win, 1-0 win.
Leicester to slightly win 1-0. Huh? All right, man. Dibs, Tottenham up against Leeds United.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
This is interesting. This game is nice, huh?
Interesting. I have a very strong feeling Leeds will nick this 2-1.
Oh, really?
So they have been awful this season.
Tottenham has been awful, yes, but I saw how they actually came back. And also, we're going to also take this into consideration, guys. One last game before World Cup. Big concern if the players going to hold back to not end up like Chilwell.
Right.
Yeah, so exactly. It's going to be interesting how this game is going to be played because not many players are going to give a 100% game.
And seeing how many players are going to go for the World Cup with Leeds, I mean, if you're going to take this match into consideration.
And this is like really, really sway. Imagine you get injured in this game,
You're done. You can't go to the World Cup. Imagine Harry Kane being injured in this game.
Oh my Lord!
Noah will.
So I think Leeds to win 2-1.
All right. Leeds will win it 2-1. All right then, John. Nottingham Forest up against Crystal Palace.
I'll take Crystal Palace. I think in that one they're playing well at the moment. So 2-1 Crystal Palace.
All right, 2-1 Crystal Palace. Zami, Newcastle and Chelsea.
Where's my Habibi brother? Newcastle to win it lah. I think Chelsea is out of sort against Arsenal for the last game. I saw the highlights was like Chelsea all hype with the Aubameyang, nothing personal. I think Newcastle will nick it lah.
Newcastle will nick it. All right, man. Mio.
2-0.
2-0. Mio, Wolves up against Arsenal. Mio, come on.
This is no brainer lah.
Arsenal
to win 3-0.
Oh, but no. Mio, I'm going to give you another one. No. I'm going to give you another one. All right.
No.
Mio, you're going to do Brighton up against Aston Villa.
You're going to give that to George, bro. George's going to do Brighton Villa, not me.
No.
Yeah.
Mio is going to do Brighton and Aston Villa. Mio, what is your prediction for Brighton up against Aston Villa?
He will predict after the League Cup match, depending on how the game goes.
Go for it, Mio.
3-3 draw.
You're done.
Oh man, gave me the 3-3 draw.
Okay, Joe. Jokes aside, Mio 3-3 draw. Okay, John, what do you think? Brighton Villa?
Yeah, John, what do you think? Brighton Villa.
I agree. I'd be delighted with a draw. Right, Brighton are playing well at the moment. It's the last one for us. We keep momentum. I'll take a 1-1 draw.
All right. Okay, that's a good one. Tips, Wolves against Arsenal.
Hey, Wolves Arsenal say already, Mio said 3-0.
Oh, Mio
For
said
me,
3-0
if you ask me,
Hey,
if you
but
ask
take
me,
into
right,
account Wolves appointed the new manager, so
Julian
the
Lopetegui,
there
right?
could be a manager bounce.
yeah,
Could be a
and a
manager
home game.
bounce.
So I think that might be a factor in that sense.
I'm
Yeah, a
That
gonna
lot
go
of
all
bounce
out,
happening this
and I'm gonna
weekend.
say I think this is where Arsenal will lose just before.
Ooh, big
World Cup.
call. Look at that.
I think Wolves
But be careful lah. That's I'm looking for you.
Wolves will win 2-1.
Sunil has already ended up with the bad books of Anwari. Right now, you are the next person on the list.
Me and Anwari, ever since Emery got appointed, we are going to be a loggerhead. So I'm going to see this panning out, man. So Wolves to win 2-1.
Wolves to win 2-1. All right, go for it, man. And last one, we're going to give our guest, George, to predict this. Fulham up against Man United. Man, I love Fulham, man, these days. I don't know why this season I like it.
George, just for the record, right? Last week, Joe said that Fulham will qualify for Europe this season.
And they will win Man City.
I've got to say, I think Fulham are going to beat you. So I'm going to go Fulham 2, Man United 1.
That's
George
the
got a new
way,
enemy
George.
in
Andres Pereira is going to hit the nail in the coffin for Eric Ten Hag.
You see, the Arsenal fans are already sending me warning.
They were warning.
Oh, this is the guy. All right, man. Guru.
Joe, we got to revisit this. Apparently, only taking charge on 14 November.
Oh, because of work permit issue. Okay, so there won't be a bounce then. All right, so not much bounce there. Only Southampton will have a bounce.
Okay, Arsenal 3-0 lah.
Arsenal. No, Dave, you went
No.
2-1. We will go with that. And George said 2-1 to Fulham as well. Will this be the second defeat in a row for Eric Ten Hag? Remains to be seen. Fellas, we've come to the end of this brilliant show. Thank you so much.
Joe, one thing. You ended by saying, will this be the second defeat in a row for Ten Hag? That remains to be seen. Let's see the League Cup first on Thursday. Yeah?
We are eliminating you guys, definitely. Pune is going down 6 feet under. The Dracula idiot is going down, definitely. I've never hated any manager and player, right? I've lived up like this. I've grew up like this. But Unai Emery gets me, man. I don't know why, bro. Ever since Villarreal days, and then we lost to him in the we lost him with Sevilla. We have lost to him when he was in Villarreal. Now we have lost him when he was Villa, bro. If there's one particular guy in football that I hate, is that Dracula idiot. I cannot.
Mr. Good evening.
I cannot do this, man. With that said, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. For those who have tuned in, thank you so much for the comments. George, Mio, thank you so much. Dave, Aizam, myself, fellas, we will come back next week. And Dibs, are you talking to someone? Oh, you're talking to someone, yes.
No, I'm back. But yeah, sorry. George, thank you very much for coming in. I mean, Joe has already said that, got a whole new different perspective from you as a Villa fan on football itself. And Mio, as usual, it's a pleasure having you on board. And Joe, take it away.
Thank you, guys. So we'll be back next week once again. And stay tuned for Napshot, guys. We're having lots of World Cup, World Cup activities coming up, content in the pipeline. It doesn't involve online. It involves on the streets. So, do tune in and watch Napshot on the streets as we are going to parade ourselves out there. And say hello to us. We'll be there. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. There's Napshot, guys. Keep it tight, keep it locked. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers, fellas.